Hello and welcome to this Prepare for IELTS Speaking video. In this video, I'm going to look at the Part 1 topic of markets. So these are the kinds of questions that you might get asked for this topic. We'll go through the language, I'll read through the answers, and please stay until the end of the video because there is a quiz and this is the best way to help you to remember some of these useful words and phrases. Let's take a look. When native speakers are speaking in English, they don't always say yes. They usually say yeah. And we usually lengthen it, shorten it, depending what we're saying next. Yeah, 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 yeah. So we have lots of different ways of saying it. Lots. So here I say, yeah, lots actually. So what I mean is a lot of street markets, but rather than repeating street markets, I just say lots. It's informal. Particularly. This is great for IELTS speaking and IELTS writing, and it means mainly, especially. All of these words are really useful for both writing and speaking. Particularly, especially, mainly. Increasingly popular. This means more and more popular. When I'm looking at IELTS writing, and when I was an IELTS examiner, I would often see more and more interesting, more and more popular. Instead of that, make it more complex, increasingly popular. Loads of. This is informal, so we wouldn't use it in IELTS writing. Loads of, lots of, many. Stalls. These are what you have at a market. So you have lots of different stalls selling different items. Stalls, they're just like a stand at a market. Cuisine, I used this in another video recently, and it's talking about the food. We often use it to describe the food in a particular country. So I love Italian cuisine, I love Korean cuisine. All sorts of. I've also used this in another video, all sorts. So what kind of music do you like? All sorts. What kind of books do you like reading? All sorts. But you can say all sorts of food, all sorts of books, all sorts of music, and it means all kinds of. Are there many street markets in your country? Yeah, lots actually. Particularly food markets. These are becoming increasingly popular nowadays. I love them because there are loads of stalls selling international cuisine and you can try all sorts of food, I guess. One of the most common things I heard when I was an IELTS examiner was I think, throughout the IELTS speaking test, even by really good candidates. So try to use synonyms. I guess, I suppose, I reckon. Particular. So we used particularly, but we can also use particular here as an adjective. The particular market, the one I'm talking about, the specific one, the exact one, the particular market. On the whole, great for both IELTS writing and IELTS speaking, and it means generally, normally, as a rule. All of these are great discourse markers, so learn them and try to use them in both IELTS speaking and IELTS writing. On the whole. And such like, when you're given a list and you need to end the list, just finish it with and such like, and other similar things. What do street markets sell? I guess it depends on the particular market. Everyone is different. But on the whole, they sell everything. For instance, food, clothes, cleaning products, and such like. Numerous, great for both writing and speaking. It means many. Many is not a complex word, so try to use other words. Numerous, numerous differences. In the main, great for both IELTS writing and IELTS speaking. Mainly, especially, particularly. These kinds of words. In the main. Tends to be, I always use this in my videos because I use it all the time. It tends to be fresher. The food tends to be fresher. It's usually. You can use this in writing too. The producer. The producer is somebody who produces something, the maker of something, the person, the company who made something, the producer. A great phrasal verb here, to cut out, to remove someone or something from a situation. So here I say, you cut out the middleman. It's quite sexist language. We don't say middle woman, we don't say middle person, we still use the middleman. And it means the person in the middle of a transaction, of a purchase. So the producer sells it to a shop, and then you buy it from the shop. The shop is the middleman. So in a market, often you are buying direct from the producer. Not always, but sometimes. So you cut out the middleman. What are the differences between supermarkets and markets? Oh, there are numerous differences. But in the main, I'd say that food tends to be fresher at markets because you are often buying from the producer, so you cut out the middleman. Definitely. A great word for IELTS speaking and also IELTS writing. Absolutely, certainly, without a doubt. So here, when it says, do you prefer? Often you get asked questions, do you prefer this or that? So you give your answer, oh, markets, definitely. So it's like saying 100%, absolutely, without a doubt, certainly. My old favourite, to be perfectly honest, because it's much better than just saying honestly. To be perfectly honest. I can't stand. You often have to say in IELTS speaking whether you like or you don't like something. Try to use this. It's more complex. And it means I hate. I can't stand supermarkets. Jam-packed. A great adjective because you often need to describe a place or something that's very busy, very crowded, jam-packed. Queues. In the UK, we don't use lines, we use queues instead. So queues, when you queue up to pay for something. Queues. And in America, they use cash desks and lines. We use queues and tills. So it's where you pay, the till. You can use the American forms of these words. I just think the English ones are a little bit more complex. Queues and tills rather than lines and cash desks. Endless. They're never ending. They seem to go on forever. Endless. In the UK, we often refer to our big shop, and that means the shop you do maybe once a week, it might be every fortnight, it might be once a month, but it's when you buy lots of things. This is your big shop. Fruit and veg. Just an informal way of saying fruit and vegetables. We usually say fruit and veg. Do you prefer shopping in a market or a supermarket? Oh, markets definitely. To be perfectly honest, I can't stand supermarkets because they're always jam-packed and the queues at the tills are endless. I tend to do a big shop once a week at the supermarket, but I go to the market at the weekend to get fruit and veg. Now let's do the quiz, and this will help to remember these words and phrases, and if you've forgotten them, it will remind you of them. Let's take a look. Which phrasal verb means to remove someone from something? To cut out. To cut out. How do we say very busy? The supermarket is always very busy. It's jam-packed. Great for IELTS speaking. Much better than crowded or busy. Jam-packed. Which word means the stands at a market? So the things that are selling things. Stalls. Stalls. How can we say the cash desk? You can use the cash desk, or you can use the British version. We say the till. The till. How can we say I hate supermarkets? I can't stand supermarkets. Who do you cut out? if you buy the products directly from the producer. You cut out the middleman. The middleman. If you buy lots of things at the same time, what do we call this? A big shop. When I go shopping with my children, they always ask, "Are we doing a big shop?" And if I say yes, they're like, "Oh no." They hate it when we're doing a big shop because it takes a long time and you have a big full trolley like this. What do we call lines in the UK? We call them queues. Queues. And finally, how can we say the queues seem never ending? The queues are endless.